Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that the video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from. The county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, John Mbadi is a man on a mission. On Friday, John Mbadi was in Kisumu County. And this is how John Mbadi was received in Kisumu. Why do you think John Mbadi was received like that? Is John Mbadi that popular? Or was the reception designed to happen the way it happened? After Kisumu, John Mbadi headed straight to Homa Bay County. Again, his message remained consistent. The next Luo Kingpin.
There is no political party that is formed to be in the street. There is no political party formed to demonstrate throughout. Political parties are not NGOs. Political parties are not civil society groups. Political parties are formed to form government. We must strategize. We must learn to be in government, to form government. If we cannot produce a president for Kenya in 2027, we must produce president of Kenya in 2032. That must be the irreducible minimum for the party, ODM, and for our community.
Yesterday, John Mbadi was in Homa Bay County. Again, his message is one. He is willing to take over from Raila Odinga. And the question is, can John Mbadi succeed Raila Odinga as the next Luo Kingpin?
A leader knows his death, but he doesn't talk about his death. He will show his people before he dies what he wants to be done. He will show his people where to take everything that he has. Raila showed us before he died that he wanted us to be in government.
So far, several names are being mentioned. On top of that list is the name of Babu Owino. Babu Owino is young, very popular. Of course, it's kind of, the community is accepting Babu Owino. But he's opposed to the broad-based government. The second name which is being mentioned is that of Raymond Omolo. Raymond Omolo is being mentioned despite the fact that he is currently the permanent secretary for Interior. I think the position of the Interior has placed him in a position where his activities are visible. And of course, he's one of the few leaders in government from the Luo nation who are having impactful activities across the counties of Nyanza. Gladys Wanga is also being mentioned. As a matter of fact, speculations are high that Gladys Wanga might be nominated as the running mate to William Ruto in 2027. Of course, names like Opiyo Wandayi is also being mentioned. The names of people like Kedero are being mentioned, but I think right now they have disappeared. Which begs the question, can John Mbadi succeed Raila Odinga as the next Luo Kingpin? That's exactly what I want to answer in this video. Before I do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, can John Mbadi succeed Raila Odinga? The truth is, nobody, and I repeat, nobody can actually fit into Raila Odinga's shoes. But as the Luo community, they might need someone to lead them. And that might not even be one person, two people, if they will remain united. But if they will split, we will have someone leading South Nyanza, that is Homa Bay, Migori, and another person leading the central, which is now Kisumu, Siaya. But can John Mbadi succeed Raila Odinga?
I want to say that there is one thing that I learned from Raila Odinga, that as
as you apply one strategy, you must blend it with another strategy. We have the strategy of going to the streets when things are bad, and we must go to the streets when things are bad. But Raila taught us one virtue, that there is also value in having discussion and a dialogue in boardrooms. Can I say this? For the people of Kenya to get independence, for the people of Kenya to get independence, they went to the streets, they fought with Wazungu, but finally they also went to Lancaster Conference and sat in boardroom and negotiated independence for Kenya. Just allow me one more minute, please. The people of Kenya, for us to get a new constitution, people shed blood, people protested, we were beaten in the streets, but finally we went to Bomas of Kenya, we went to Naivasha, we went to Kilifi and produced the constitution that we have today. And therefore I want to speak to the people of ODM that you must respect your leaders, but we must also accept that Raila taught us to go to the street when it is necessary and go to the boardroom when it is necessary.
Let us look at some of the things which can actually work in his favor. Number one, his position as the cabinet secretary for finance. How is this going to help Mbadi? The truth is, as the minister for finance, he's the senior-most government official from Luo Nyanza as far as pecking order is concerned. Because as the minister for finance, John Mbadi sits at the National Security Advisory Committee. That is one of the highest decision-making organs as far as security of the country is concerned. Very few people sit there. I think the president, the deputy president, the minister for finance, the minister for foreign affairs, the minister for interior, the minister for defense, those few ones. So those few ones, which means Mbadi has the power, he has the influence. Again, as the minister for finance, John Mbadi can easily make money. Granted, he's very good. He survived politics since he joined. Was it in 2007 up to now? So it's very senior. Again, that position has placed him in a situation where he can actually make money. Money. Most of these positions require money. Without money, as a minister for finance, if he's strategic, he can make money. Number two, camps have clearly emerged in ODM party. And those camps, I can say, are extreme. For example, Babu Owino is insisting that he must be. If not, he's going to break the table. On the other side, there are those people who are saying you must be in broad-based government, and therefore they should take over. I think if you were to take those two extreme camps, you find John Mbadi at the middle. I'm 100% sure that there are those who support Babu Owino who might not have problems with John Mbadi, but they'll have problem with, say, Gladys Wanga or Opiyo Wandayi. And there are also those other people who are on the other side, who cannot really embrace some other people. But for Mbadi, they can embrace him. So which means Mbadi can easily become a compromise candidate for both camps. So that if it were to be negotiated, Mbadi can easily get it. Number three, the broad-based government. There is something which William Ruto said during the burial of Raila Odinga. And personally, I strongly believe that William Ruto will be pulling the strings in ODM party from the background. There is no way William Ruto will allow ODM party to be controlled by people who are not for the broad-based government. Let us have a list. Babu Owino is on the other side, so Ruto cannot allow him. Gladys Wanga supports broad-based government. Raila Odinga Luo supports broad-based government. Opiyo Wandayi supports broad-based government. Of the four, if you are to ask me, Ruto would easily pick John Mbadi. I'm saying this because even during the burial of Raila Odinga, William Ruto really praised John Mbadi. And because Mbadi is his choice, he also needs someone he can rely on. Of course, Raila Molo would be the best pick for him, having worked with him longer. But you see, politics is a different ballgame. So if I had to ask me, because of the broad-based government, William Ruto will definitely pick Mbadi over the rest. Number 4, John Mbadi served as the chairperson of ODM party before he was appointed to the cabinet. What does that mean? It means one thing, that Raila Odinga trusted him with the party, and again, trusted him to represent him in government. Most people are still sympathetic to Raila Odinga, and that would definitely give him an edge over the others. And as a former chairperson of ODM party, he understands the operations of the party. And because politics is local, if he can understand the operation of ODM as a political party nationally, what do you think will stop him from understanding the dynamics of ODM politics locally? So I think having served as the chairperson of ODM party, the community will easily embrace him if he were to push harder. And lastly, I've never seen an orator in Luo Nyanza like Mbadi, apart from Raila Odinga. I can tell you, the first time I encountered Mbadi in a political rally was when we were campaigning for Moses Kajwang, following the death of the brother, the late Senator Gerald Otieno Kajwang. It was in Oyugis. That by-election was so tough. I've never seen a tough by-election like that. I've never. Mbadi came there and he spoke and everybody was convinced. You've been seeing Mbadi, people quoting whatever he's saying. He's very good in Bible. He's very good in economics. He understands a lot of things, even the history of the Luo nation. Raila Odinga had the history of the Luo nation here. And of course, the age is also a factor for him. He's mature, he's not old. So which means if the community were to embrace him, that ambition of producing a presidential candidate in 2032 might actually be realized. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.